Who's heard of NLP? Who has not heard of NLP? Is anyone that's new to? So a couple of people haven't heard. NLP stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. There was two men that got together in the 70s. They were John Grinder and Roger Brandler. That's right, Grinder, Brandler. Gets confusing. Those two got together. They looked at three specific people that were having tremendous results. They were creating change in people. People were coming into them with problems, either in their relationships, with themselves, and they were walking away without the problems. It was like magic. It was like a miracle. And so they started studying these people to find out what were they doing. What were they doing that was creating this tremendous change? And so the three people they studied were, first of all, was Virginia Satir. She's a famous family therapist. And she was creating tremendous results in family therapy, bringing families that hated each other back together. And it was just crazy. There was another man by the name of Milton Erickson. And Erickson is the father of what we call modern-day hypnotherapy. And he's the person who single-handedly actually got that mode of therapy to be recognised as a scientific approach, or as a way that was accepted by the larger community. So hypnotherapy was simply he put a person into a trance, and then he would speak not just to their conscious mind, but to their unconscious mind. And he would lead them through different processes. For example, if a person came to see Milton Erickson and he had smoking cessation, they were addicted to cigarettes, he might not even talk about cigarettes or smoking, but he might talk about a dog and tell a story about this dog on the bluff who couldn't drink the cool, fresh water because of the bone that was in its mouth. And the dog wouldn't let go of the bone so it could taste the water. And he would just tell this story. And the person would work away from his office, and the process would begin working on the unconscious. And so change would happen. Very interesting. So he locked on new stories to lead a person in to a different mindset, to a changed place. The third one was Pearl Fritz, was a psychologist, and he was German born, and he was the father of Gestalt therapy. And if any of you have heard of Gestalt therapy, let's say a person had a problem with their father, who was an authoritarian, and the person felt weak around their father, and this pattern played out through their life. Every time father came around, the person felt weak. What he might do is get a chair and place it in front of the client and say, "That's your father. Now give it to him. Tell him what you really think." And he would work with them until they're able to voice their opinion and yell at the chair and tell the chair what they really thought and stand up for themselves against a chair. It's an inanimate object. It's just sitting there. And yet, by doing that, the person was able to conquer some of those fears inside. Okay, so what do you think? Gestalt therapy actually helped many people to overcome fears, anxiety, depression, different things by using tools in the environment and using the imagination. So, the founders of NLP decided to bring all the bits of these different therapies that work together to find out what is it that makes the change. And what they discovered is that each of us has a conscious mind. And each of us has an unconscious mind. And most of the drivers in your life that determine whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to fail, whether you'll be happy, whether you'll be depressed and anxious, all come down to who's driving the bus. So if you think about your conscious mind as being the bus driver, your unconscious mind is all the passengers trying to tell the bus driver where to go and how to get there. And so your conscious mind is a little tiny part. And so one way to describe it is by drawing an iceberg, not a regular iceberg, but then you've got the water level. And this top little section here represents our conscious mind. But all of this under here, they say it's between 90 and 95% is unconscious. And so we might make a decision to change our life. We might make a decision to start a new action. which hopefully will turn into a habit. But what happens? When we start going down that road, there's unconscious resistance to change. Because there's two lots of thoughts you have. The thoughts you know about and the thoughts you don't. And it's not the thoughts you know about that are causing all the disruption in your life. It's the thoughts you don't know about. It's the ones there that are from your past. Beliefs. And so if you have a look down here, we've got beliefs, we've got attitudes, we've got addictions, behaviours. We've got all these beliefs in our unconscious arena of life. And so we make a new decision. We say, I've got it. I would just, get healthy. And I'll get up every morning and I'll exercise. That's a great idea because that's how you get it, right? Because I've heard the talks. I hear people getting up, all the fitness instructors get up, and they say, you've got to be fit and healthy, you want to look like me. They stand up on TV and they've got abs on their abs. 3 levels of abs. It's just crazy, right? They've got muscles on muscles. Muscles in the arms and legs, I didn't know even existed. They've got muscles popping out in different weird places. Is that true? You see those guys and you go, wow, how does he do it? He says, I get up and train every morning. And then you think to yourself, the light bulb goes off and you go, that's it. I just have to train every morning and I'll get fit and healthy. And then we get up the first day and we go for it. And it's pretty exciting. Right? We're pumped, we're ready to go. What happens day 2? First of all, when you wake up, you're sore. Because yesterday you pushed yourself so hard. Because that's often what we do, isn't it? We push ourselves really hard on the first time. We go, I'm going to change my life. And we expect it to happen in one day. And so we push ourselves really hard. So the second day you get up, you're sore, but you go, you know what? Mind over matter. Who's in charge? I'm in charge. You get up and you push your body. What happens day 3? You might yawn and go, well, sleep's an important part of health too. Isn't that true?
Yes, yeah.
It is true. And that's a true principle. That is exactly a true principle. Sleep is an important part of health. But what was our objective? Our objective was to get fit and healthy and have muscles on our muscles. And that didn't work. It's not working, right? So what's happening? What's happening is our unconscious mind is driving the bus. What's happening is our unconscious mind says, no, sleep. No, it's not going to work. No, just give up right now. Just slow your pace. Just try again. Or try again next month. Or here's the best one, try again next year. How long do New Year's resolutions last? Anyone know? The studies have been done. They said 14 to 15 days is how long most New Year's resolutions last. Isn't that crazy? Why? Because we've got this conscious idea, this New Year's resolution, and we write it down, and then, no, stay in bed if it's a health goal, if it's a relationship goal, if it's something else. So here we are with all these resistors in our life. And how tough is it when you're trying to get ahead, but you're being pulled in the other direction? It's like a tug of war. And there's one person standing on one side, you've got 9 people on the other side. What are your chances? Unless it's Fat Albert, you're going to lose. You're going to get pulled off balance, okay? So it's like, that's how it is. We're fighting the unconscious part of our mind. And it's this tug of war that we hear about. And they talk about it all the time. I went to our leadership training meeting one time. And actually, Dan was there for that. And we went up, and I thought it was a challenge because there was 3 of us that went up. And he said to me, grab one arm, and he said to Darren, grab the other arm, and he said, now pull. Now I thought he wanted us to dislocate the man's shoulders. So I began pulling, Darren began resisting, but I think I won because he didn't put quite as much effort in. Anyway, we're pulling this fella in half almost. And then the instructor said, that's your life. And I thought about that and I thought, is that really? Do you have to struggle every moment? Who thinks that? Who's got that belief that life is a struggle? And that you've got to struggle to survive. You know what that is? That's a belief. That's all that is. It's a belief. You've got to struggle to survive. And this is the teacher. And he's leading us and teaching us that this is life. You're being stretched in 2 directions and then you've got to make a choice between these 2 alternatives at all times. And it's tough. It's really, really hard. Doesn't need to be. Everyone's looking confused, doesn't it? the interesting part about that lesson was I actually, with the insight and understanding that I'd received in the seminars that I'd been to previously, I looked at that situation and I recognised something. I learned something. I learned that you don't need to do that. That struggle is a belief. What if you can be completely congruent? Congruent is a term we use in life coaching, in self-development. Congruent simply means that your thoughts, your words, your actions, and your beliefs are all in alignment. It's all in one direction. It's all going one way. This idea of struggle and being pulled and stretched in two different directions, that's incongruency. In a religious sense, they call it hypocrisy. Where you're wanting to do this, you've got this conscious desire to live a certain way, and yet in reality, you're falling down all the time. It's causing you disharmony within yourself. So we're here today to, one, loosen up your grip on reality. Because the reality that you think you live in isn't actually reality at all. I'm saying, that's crazy. You're saying that what I think is real isn't real? That's exactly right. What you think is real isn't real. It's only your interpretation of reality. Your perception. It's your interpretation. So you see what you see and you interpret it according to your beliefs, your understandings, your attitudes, and many of these are unconscious. And so it's made up for you. You don't have to think about it. Suddenly you see someone, we generalise and we distort, we delete information.